Hello 4-Hers, Miss Pam here from UConn 4-H, and today as part of our 4-H Ocean Discovery series we are going to be making a cute little octopus out of pony beads. Here's my practice one. He isn't super attractive, and if you notice I made a little mistake because I ran out of GIMP making him. So I think we're going to have a much better time together, and I think all of our octopuses are going to have 8 legs instead of just 4. So let's get started. You're going to need 6 different color beads. Each color you will have 16 of them in the kit that you received, or if you just have pony beads at home, use 6 different colors, 16 beads for each. We are going to have a couple beads left over, but we'll find that out as we go along with our video. Everyone is going to get a very surprise bead in their box or in their bag. So we will find out what's up with these kind of plain kind of beads. So first I'm going to just lay my beads out on the table here. And then you have a piece of GIMP. This GIMP is 6 feet plus a few inches long. So it's really, really long. And in the beginning, it will be a little bit hard pulling it through, but that's okay. We'll get used to it. So the first thing that we're going to do is pick our middle color if you want it to be a rainbow. I am going to start with green, and I am going to put 16 green beads on my GIMP. So as we're going along, you can stop this video at any time so that everyone can catch up. And we are certainly going to start and stop me making this as well, because you don't need to watch me putting on all my beads all the time. Don't feel bad either if your octopus isn't coming out perfectly perfect, because as we saw on mine, I can't even count, and I gave my octopus 4 octopus arms. So we're all going to make some mistakes as we go through. And if you've never done beads before, it might be a little bit challenging for you. But that's okay, and that's why we have a video. Because the good thing about videos is you can stop them and restart them and back them up. Okay, so do you see how I have 16 beads on my string here? Now I'm going to tie a knot in them all together, and I'm not going to make them too tight. I did learn to give myself a little bit of leeway for doing this. So you can see, now I'm going to turn it into a knot. GIMP does not always knot really well, so just pull pretty hard when you feel it kind of stretching. Don't have too big of a tail on the end, because I don't want you guys to run out of GIMP the way that I did. So I am just going to cut off this little bit here. All right, so this is going to be the bottom row of our octopus body. Now is going to be coming the trickier parts, making his body. So I think the next color I am going to do is going to be, I think that I am going to do orange. So I am going to string through one bead, that first bead, and I'm going to go all the way through. And I'm skipping that one here, and now I'm going to put on an orange. Now I have my orange all the way down to the end. Holy cow. I'm going to kind of have it right on top of this one. So I'm going to thread, skip this one because my orange bead is going to be on top of it, and I'm going to thread through this one. So what I'm doing is threading through every other bead. And because this is so very long, so if you look, this is what I look like. Now I'm going to add another orange bead onto my string here, and then I'm going to thread through the next one. So if you can see, we have a pattern going where we're putting a bead on every other time. So now I have a bead sitting on that one. So I'm going to add another orange. The orange is going to be on top of this bead, so I want to go through that bead. So see what we have happening so far? Can you see the pattern? Every other bead. So now I am just going to keep going with that pattern. If you'd like, this is a really good time to pause the video while everyone goes around adding their beads on every other one. And just kind of remember, don't pull your gimp too tight. You want to have some flexibility. So keep going around until you have 8 beads. And now I'm back where I started. I went through this last, there's my knot I went through here. Now we're going to add the other 8. So this can feel a little bit tricky, but you're going to be okay. So I'm going to first put it through my first orange. All the way through. Now I'm going to add another row of orange. So now I'm going to just very easily go through my orange beads, adding one in the middle of each one. Ugh. My gimp is getting very twisty. So if you look, now I have 3 in a row here. And I'm going to smooth out my gimp a little bit because it had some curls in it. And now I'm going to continue just threading through my orange beads. I think this is going to be a very colorful octopus. So now is a good time. You can stop the video now and just keep going around your circle And then we're going to find out what we're going to do next. Okay, so now we can see our beads here doing our next row. And they're kind of going up and down and up and down and up and down a little bit, and that's okay. That's kind of what we're looking for. So I am going to see if I can pull it a little tighter on this row. I was a little loose, but that's okay. All right, so our next row color, we have to decide here. I think I'm going to do yellow, my next one. And now we are going to get to add the eyes. So if you remember how we did that back and forth with our first row of orange, we're going to do the same thing now with this row. So here I am starting here, and I am going to go through the next bead. I can see how it a little bit sticks up a little bit. So I'm going to go through that one, and then I'm going to add a yellow. Maybe. Here we go. That's what I like about these beads. And now I'm going to slide through the next bead. And it's kind of up. But wait a minute, we have to add eyes. So after you add your first yellow, or whatever color you're choosing to make this row, we are going to add one black bead. So we have that black bead there. And now I'm skipping over this one because the black bead is going to be on it. And I'm going to go through this one. There we go. And now I'm going to add another yellow, because this will be in between his eyes. Kind of like how we have a nose. He is going to also have a nose space between his eyes. Now another black for his other eye. Ooh, he's looking pretty cute. I like him, or her, depending on what you would like. Now I'm just going to keep going around doing every other yellow. You can stop the video at any time. Okay, I am going to be putting on my last yellow, and there's already 2 strings going through this orange bead, so it's being a little challenging to get my gimp through it, but I got it through. So just be patient when you're trying to get your gimp through some of the holes here. Mine's getting a little twisty again. You can see, I think, I'm just getting twisty. So, you can see how many. I have 6 of this color and 2 black, which makes 8. So now we're going to add the second row. My beads are escaping here. We're going to add a second row of our yellows. So I'm going to go through this yellow. I'm going to have a yellow. And then it's going to go through the black bead of an eye. And then another yellow. And we're going to go just the same as we did with our second row of orange. We're just going to go right around our circle, putting a bead in every other one. So you can stop the video and work your way around the circle. Okay, so I've gone all the way around. Isn't he looking very cute? Or she? Very, very cute. So now we're going to have to put a top on him. Like, octopuses aren't just round. They got to have a top to their body. So this part can feel a little bit tricky, but that's okay. You can always back up the video if you need to. But this time, we're used to doing every other bead. We're going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to go through 1, 2, I'm going to go back through this black one, the eye. 1, 2, 3. And now I'm going to add my top. And I think I am going to use blue for my top. And I'm going to use these very special beads for my bottom. So now we skip one because our blue bead is going to go there. And I'm going to again do 1, 2, 3, and now I'm going to add another bead to the top. And I'm going to do this going around the top of the head. And when I'm done, I am going to end up with 4 beads, kind of like a square. And sometimes now as we're getting more and more pieces of GIMP through, it can start feeling more like a challenge. What did I do? Oh, I wasn't supposed to go through that one. Whoops. I was supposed to skip that one. How come you guys didn't remind me I was doing it wrong? So I'm going to put my blue bead on top of this and then do 1, 2, 3 beads. So now is a good time to stop the video and go all the way around the top. Okay, friends, you should have 4 beads, kind of making a corner here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There should be 3 beads in between each one. So now we have to figure out how to close it up. So I am going to slide through this last one. And now I'm going to go through my blue bead. Maybe. There we go. I'm going to add 1 more blue in between. And then I'm going to pop right over to the other blue one. And I'm going to add another bead in between. And go over to the next blue one. Put a a bead in. Over to the next blue one. Add one more bead. And now I've gone all the way around. And I am going to pull tight. There we go. So now we've like made a top. Can you see how the top, it doesn't come together all the way. And since we do have 8 blue beads, or whatever is your top color going to be, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this next blue here, kind of push it up. I can get my thread through, and I'm going to put on one more bead. You don't have to do it this way, but I just feel like, you know, it fills up that hole. So I'm going to go out that bead, and then I'm going to go right down through the middle. I'm going past one of the beads here. I'm not even going to go in the bead. I'm just going to bring it down the middle. And if you're not adding that extra bead on, you want to just take one of your threads down the middle here, because what we're going to do now is add our legs. Where's his little face? Oh, so cute. So turning from the inside here, I've got my gimp coming down the middle. I want it to go into one of the green beads. Through a green. Here. So you can see how I brought my thread down through the middle and through one of the beads here on the bottom. And now it's time for us to start adding the legs. The legs can be a little bit tricky, so don't feel bad if you don't catch on like super quick. I have trouble with them too. I'm sure you're going to see me having some trouble. So first I'm going to put on 2 of the purple, and then I'm putting on 2 of the special beads here. So I have it going all the way down here. Now I am going to skip over that one top bead, and then I'm going to put my thread back through the other 3. So once I get it back through the other 3, this end one kind of makes a stop, so all the leg is going to go. But you can't have your leg dangling like this. So the trick here is to keep these beads pushed right down to the body of your octopus. And it can feel a little bit tricky trying to get that to happen. And sometimes I find it easier if I just set my little octopus right here. Pull. All right. That one. There we go. Now I can just pull it right down. and you can see the leg is right attached to the body. So now I'm going to skip the bead next to me and put the gimp through the next one over. So we're going back to how we did before when we were doing beads every other one. So it's kind of like the same rhythm. My gimp is getting very twisty. There we go. I'm going to kind of straighten it out a little bit. So now that I've gone through the next bead over, see how this one's kind of sitting on top of this bead, and now I put my gimp through this bead, we're going to make another leg. So I'm putting on 2 purple, 2 translucent beads. I'll let them go all the way down. And just kind of hold it here. I'm going to skip this first one and go back through the other 3. And I'm going to hold those right there while I pull. And that did go on a little bit easier. So I skip. I'm going to put one here. That one's still a little loose. Yeah, that's okay. Now I'm going to do my next leg. So you're just going to go all the way around the bottom until you have 8 legs or 8 arms on your octopus. I keep saying legs, but they're really arms. So you can pause the video while everyone's getting the rest of their legs on. Okay, 4-H friends, I am on my very last leg. I don't know about you, but that took me a long time getting all those legs on because I made the same mistake twice. And I jumped over too many beads of my green beads. So my legs were too close together and then I had a big gap. Crazy. And it's so frustrating when you do something wrong. Not once, but twice. But it happens to all of us. So now that I have my last leg going on, I have a little bit of very last one. Ta-da! Okay. Ooh. Look, so cute. So now it's time for us to tie this up. And what you can do is take your gimp. We're going to go back through a couple beads. And this can be a little challenging because for some of these beads, this might be 4 times that gimp is going through. So I am back to my beginning, to my knot was right here. So I am going to see if I can go back through that bead. No, I'm not going to be able to do that. So what I'm going to do is go up to this orange one and see, you can't even tell. Then I did that. And back through this orange one. So we're not going to make a knot. We're just going to go through like 3 or 4 more beads. Maybe. There we go. Ooh. Wow, that gimp does not want to keep going through that bead. I got it through a little ways. There we go. And then I'm just going to go through this orange bead. Much easier. Here we go. And then I'm going to stick it right down into the middle. Here. So just coming out the middle there. And then I'm just going to cut off this tail. And it should stay together just fine. I'm not going to cut it. I don't know if you can see. I didn't cut it right up tight. I have a little teeny piece still sticking out there. It's kind of hard to see. But anyway, here is my little octopus. And did you guys figure out what was so special about these kinds of beads? Let's go take a look. We're going to have to go for a little walk. So I am outside with my cute little octopus. And what is happening to the beads? Can you take your octopus outside and see? Yes, these are UV color changing beads. So when you get them out into the sunshine, they're going to change color. Do you remember when we learned about bioluminescence? This is kind of like what some creatures in the ocean will do. And an octopus actually can change color as part of its camouflage. So my octopus is back inside now, and the UV beads are going back to clear. But I hope you enjoyed making your octopus. You can make more for some of your friends and family. And I hope that you have a great day. Bye.